The year 2000 began with a sense of optimism in Canada. The streets were alive with celebrations, and the air was filled with the promise of a new era. The country had weathered the economic storms of the late 20th century. Businesses were thriving, and there was a renewed sense of economic stability. The dot-com boom was in full swing, promising new opportunities. Technology startups were popping up everywhere, and the internet was beginning to change the way people worked and lived. Canada, with its stable economy and social safety net, seemed well positioned for the future. Families enjoyed the benefits of urban parks and modern amenities. The Canadian identity continued to evolve. People from different backgrounds came together, creating a rich tapestry of cultures and traditions. Multiculturalism was embraced as a core value. Festivals celebrating various cultures were common, and neighborhoods were vibrant with diversity. Immigration remained a driving force, bringing new perspectives and enriching the social fabric. However, challenges remained. Integrating new arrivals and addressing their needs was an ongoing process. The gap between Indigenous and non-Indigenous Canadians persisted. Environmental concerns were growing, with protests highlighting the need for sustainable practices. The political landscape was relatively stable. The government worked to address the nation's issues while maintaining a sense of order. Jean Chrétien's Liberal government was in its third term. His leadership was marked by efforts to balance economic growth with social welfare. The opposition, fragmented between the Canadian Alliance and the Progressive Conservatives, struggled to present a united front. This division made it challenging for them to effectively challenge the ruling party. Canadians looked ahead to the new millennium with a mix of hope and uncertainty. They were eager to see what the future held, but aware of the challenges that lay. The Canadian political landscape underwent significant shifts between the years 2000 and 25. The long reign of the Liberal Party, which had been dominant for much of the late 20th century, faced new challenges and obstacles. The Canadian Alliance, which later evolved into the Conservative Party under the leadership of Stephen Harper, emerged as a powerful force in Canadian politics. Harper's Conservatives won power in 2006, marking a significant shift in the political landscape. They ushered in an era characterized by fiscal conservatism, a focus on reducing government spending, and a more assertive foreign policy. The Liberals, under new leadership, struggled to regain their footing and reconnect with voters. Meanwhile, the New Democratic Party, led by charismatic leaders like Jack Layton and later Jagmeet Singh, gained significant ground, particularly in urban centres where their progressive policies resonated. The 2015 election saw Justin Trudeau, son of former Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau, lead the Liberals back to power with a message of hope and change. Trudeau promised real change, including decisive action on climate change, meaningful reconciliation with Indigenous peoples, and fostering a more inclusive and diverse society. The political landscape continued to evolve, reflecting the changing demographics, values, and priorities of Canadians as they navigated through a quarter-century of transformation and progress. Canada's economy experienced a period of relative prosperity in the early 2000s. The tech boom fueled growth, particularly in sectors like telecommunications and software development. However, the global financial crisis of 2008 sent shockwaves through the Canadian economy. The government responded with stimulus measures to mitigate the impact of the recession. The Canadian banking system, known for its stability, weathered the storm better than many others. The resource sector, particularly oil and gas, continued to play a significant role in the economy. As the global economy recovered, Canada experienced renewed growth. However, challenges emerged, including concerns about income inequality, housing affordability, and the transition to a low-carbon economy. The COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 brought unprecedented challenges, leading to lockdowns and a significant economic downturn. The government implemented emergency measures to support businesses and individuals affected by the pandemic. Additionally, the tariffs imposed by the Trump administration strained trade relations and impacted Canadian exports. Canada's economic future hinged on its ability to adapt to these evolving global trends. Canadian society underwent profound transformations between 2000 and 25. Immigration continued to reshape the demographic landscape. Cities became more diverse, reflecting the country's multicultural ethos. Newcomers brought new skills, perspectives, and traditions, enriching the social fabric. Social values continued to evolve. Same-sex marriage was legalized in 2005, marking a significant milestone for LGBTQ+ rights. Canadians became increasingly aware of issues like mental health, gender equality, and social justice. The aging population presented both challenges and opportunities. The healthcare system faced increasing demands. At the same time, older Canadians played an active role in society, contributing their experience and expertise. Canadian society became more inclusive and diverse, reflecting the evolving values of its people. The digital revolution transformed almost every aspect of Canadian life between 2000 and 25. The internet became ubiquitous, connecting Canadians to each other and the world. Social media emerged as a powerful force, shaping public discourse and influencing political campaigns. E-commerce transformed the retail landscape, providing consumers with unprecedented choice and convenience. The gig economy emerged, offering new forms of work, but also raising questions about labor rights and job security. Technological advancements brought new opportunities and challenges, impacting the way Canadians lived, worked, and interacted with the world. Canada continued to play an active role on the world stage between 2000 and 2025. The country participated in peacekeeping missions, provided development assistance, and engaged in multilateral diplomacy. Canada's foreign policy focused on promoting peace, security, and human rights. Canada's relationship with the United States, its closest neighbor and trading partner, remained complex. The two countries cooperated on issues of mutual interest such as trade, security, and environmental protection. However, there were also points of tension, particularly on issues like trade disputes and climate change policy. Canada sought to balance its close ties with the US with its commitment to multilateralism and its own distinct foreign policy priorities. Environmental concerns became increasingly prominent in Canada between 2000 and 2025. Climate change emerged as a defining issue, with its potential to impact everything from coastlines to agriculture. The country experienced more frequent and severe weather events, highlighting the urgency of addressing climate change. The government implemented policies aimed at reducing greenhouse gas emissions and transitioning to a cleaner economy. However, progress was often slow and met with resistance from some industries. Canada faced the challenge of balancing economic development with environmental sustainability, a debate that continued to shape policy decisions. Canada took significant steps towards reconciliation with Indigenous peoples between 2000 and 2025. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission, established in 2008, documented the harms inflicted by the residential school system and issued calls to action for healing and reconciliation. The government issued formal apologies for past injustices and implemented policies aimed at addressing the legacy of colonialism. Land claims were settled and efforts were made to improve the socioeconomic conditions of Indigenous communities. However, significant challenges remained in areas such as education, healthcare, and economic development. The journey towards reconciliation was ongoing, requiring sustained commitment and action from all levels of government and society. Canada in 2025 is a nation transformed by the events of the preceding quarter century. The landscape of the country, both physically and socially, has undergone significant changes, reflecting the dynamic nature of its people and their ability to adapt to new realities. It is a country that has faced significant challenges, from economic crises to climate change, but has also demonstrated resilience, adaptability, and a commitment to its core values. The Canadian spirit has been tested, yet it has emerged stronger, showcasing a unique blend of determination and compassion. Canada's multicultural fabric has continued to evolve, enriched by immigration and a growing awareness of its diverse cultural heritage. The influx of new cultures and traditions has not only added to the vibrancy of Canadian society, but has also fostered a deeper understanding and appreciation of what it means to be Canadian. The country continues to grapple with issues of social justice, economic inequality, and environmental sustainability. These challenges are complex and multifaceted, requiring innovative solutions and a collective effort from all sectors of society. However, it does so with a spirit of innovation, a commitment to dialogue, and a belief in the power of collective action. Canadian communities have come together to address these issues, leveraging technology and collaboration to create meaningful change. Canada's journey over the past 25 years has been one of both continuity and change, marked by progress and ongoing challenges. The nation has built on its historical foundations while embracing new opportunities and confronting emerging threats. As the country looks ahead to the future, it does so with a sense of cautious optimism, grounded in its history, its values, and the enduring strength of its people. The vision for the future is one of hope and promise, driven by a collective will to build a better, more inclusive and sustainable Canada for generations to come.